Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, my friends, to my channel, Abdelaziz Gabr. Uh, Actually, I am very sorry for this long time that I couldn't deliver any course, and this is due to some circumstances I have in my life. But now, inshallah, everything is going smooth. Uh, Finally, I will do the course in English. And as I promised you on my channel, on my LinkedIn page, that I will deliver all the courses in Arabic and in English versions, so that we can cover all the nationalities all over the world, inshallah. And the old courses that were in Arabic all will be also delivered again in English version, in English language. So don't worry about all this, but we will go through this course these days. Actually, our course today is called the Will Completion and Workover Design. Why we are talking about the Will Completion and Workover Design? Actually, if you see any company all over the world, by the way, you will notice that this company has, for example, five drilling rigs and 10 drilling and 10 workover rigs. For example, some companies in Egypt, for example, have one drilling rig and five workover rigs. Other companies don't have even drilling, but they have workover rigs. So this means that the workover is very important. And to be honest, in my life, I worked in drilling and in workover. Actually, 2 years are enough for drilling. 2 years to get a good experience are enough for drilling. You will not face a lot of problems like what you will see in the workover. Workover has too many details in fitting, in the threads, in the tools, in everything. Okay, so that I think this course is very important. And not only this, but as you know, due to the economic issues, the oil prices are going ups and downs, right? From time to time, the oil price becomes high, and for other time it becomes low. When the oil price is up, the activity increases, so the drilling increases, and also the workover for sure. But when the oil prices are down, this means the cost of drilling is not enough to cover the payment. So we stop drilling or we reduce drilling, but we continue to make workover. Why? To sustain or to preserve the same level of production of oil production. That's why I am talking that the workover course is very important. And to be honest, it is you will see in this course tons of informations. Yes, without exaggeration, tons of information in different topics. So that this is very important. And please uh, follow up the channel and keep tuned about what I will upload from time to time about these topics. And to be honest, this topic like yeah, or this course, it can take up to 60 or 70 video. 60. For sure. So you will need a lot of time, but this course is designed from scratch. If you don't know anything about workover until you become a professional, this will be through this course. This course is designed actually for who يعني let's check about this course. Number one, the duration of this course. Actually, I give this course to many companies within 3 weeks, plus or minus. Yeah. Okay. So 18 days, 20 days, something like this. So it takes about 3 weeks. To whom I give this course? All the engineering department, all the workover and completion engineers are interested about this course. Why? Because as I told you, it has tons of informations. And because this is the well life. For example, the drilling, okay, خلاص, we have already drilled the well. So what about the life of the well? It's a workover and completion. That's it. Okay, so this is very important. The course objectives. Number one, to know how to run different completion strings. I will talk later. I will talk in details in this course about all this. Number two, to know the different completion tools, like for example, packers, like nipples, like SSDs, يعني everything. To know the different downhole tools and how they operate. This is very important too. Why? What are the RTTS packer, CHAM packer, and what are the different types of packers and different types of downhole tools, and and about and how to operate them. What are the requirement? What are the calculations, needs, everything. Also, from the objective of this course, to be aware of the material and service companies needed for the different jobs. The workover or the workover job, the workover needs a lot of service companies. Many service companies, one for slack line, one for wire line or electric line, one for sampling, one for everything. Every tool has its company. So we will deal with a lot of service companies. So how to deal with them and how to run the jobs. All this will be covered through this course. So what is the course content? What we will exactly give in this course? Number one, I have two categories in this course. Number one is called completion. Then after this, the workover. So what is the difference between completion and the workover? Actually, the completion means how the will work. How, as simple as this. What the string inside the will to make the will work or to will make the will produce oil until the end of its life. This is called the completion. Okay, but what is the workover? Workover means maintenance. And you can say it's called maintenance for the will. Okay, workover means it is the stage between decompletion and completion. For example, if you have a if you have drop in the production due to pump failure, for example, okay, so you have to make decompletion for the string at first, then make work over job, okay, whatever to make maintenance for the well, okay, and after this you have to complete the well and finish the well with the string again. So this is the difference in meaning between completion and workover. So what will we discuss in the completion? Number one, introduction to workover and completion design. Why, for example, why we make the design for this oil well to be completed as a sucker rod well or as a ESP well or whatever. Why? This will be discussed. What are the factors that affecting that? What are the factors affecting this choice of the choice of the type of completion? So we will know exactly about it. Number two, what are we will talk about the types of workover. Actually, we have types of many types of the workover, but mainly you can say regless, you can say mechanical, you can say re-entry. Mainly these are the two types here. What's the difference between them? For example, mechanical, you don't change in the shape of the original well. Like pump failure, you change it with another one. خلاص, it's called mechanical. But re-entry means, for example, while producing from this layer and خلاص this layer didn't give enough oil production, so we have to we have to isolate this layer and open another layer. So we have to go put a web stock and then make drilling to another layer. يعني for example, so you are making a change in the shape of the well. So this is the difference between mechanical and re-entry, and we will talk about each one in detail. Number three, the completion string tools. We will discuss the completion string tools, like for example, nibbles, different type of nibbles with different companies, packers, different type of packers, and which one is permanent, which one is production, and يعني different. Okay, hangers and everything. Okay, we will talk about all this. طبعا completion string also like SSD like يعني side pocket mandrels all everything. We will also talk about introduction to artificial lift techniques. Introduction to artificial lift techniques. Artificial lift techniques actually when you are if you have drilled a well and this reservoir is a virgin which means this is the first time to drill it or it has a high pressure so you can produce naturally يعني, without any problem. But if the production is down and you need to increase it, you have to make some things called artificial lifting. So what are the techniques? We will talk about its introduction about it, like sucker rod, like for example, as I told you, sucker rod, like ESB, and for example, sucker rod and ESB and all the completion. We will talk about everything in the job from scratch about, for example, why I make sucker rod, and then what is the types of sucker rod, and what is the string that I will run, and how to run it, and finally how to finish the well. So this is the sucker rod, the ECB, the BCB, progressive cavity pump for heavy oil. The gas lift for sure, but gas lift يعني means you have to get a facility for gas plant to run this compression. Uh, lower completion. The lower completion, a lot of people or a lot of engineers didn't know or don't know exactly about lower completion because it is not a common use يعني it is not commonly used. But we will talk exactly about the lower completion exactly when I use lower completion, what are the types of packers that I put in the lower completion and the screens that I put and what is the I see what everything in lower completion. For example, why I use it? For example, if I have a long open hole section and I will produce from open hole, but I have some sections have losses and have a lot of water content and have other streaks has oil. So I need to produce oil and close the water, for example, or close the fractures in the formation. So I have to run lower completion before I run upper completion to get exactly the oil without any problems يعني. خلاص؟ طيب also we will talk about something is called smart completion. And if you see يعني the word it's called smart completion, which means you can control production from different layers from the surface, which is great job. We will talk exactly about and everything and how to run it and what are the precautions that we take. Gas completion. If you have a gas well, what is the gas completion string that we will run? We will talk about everything in detail. Natural completion, shoot and stay, S and S, shoot and stay. We will talk exactly about it. Okay. Also, finally, we will talk in completion about water injection completion string. How to make water injection. What is the string to make water injection? Okay, and what is the difference between it and between water source well? Because there is another different water source well, you get water, but water injection, you have to inject water. So there is difference. Okay. So what is the water injection completion string? This is completion. Okay. Now we will go to the work over. What is the work over jobs that we will give, inshallah? Okay. Number one, we will talk about exactly the downhole tools, like for example, Artitis Packer, like other packers, okay, Champ Packer, other packers, and how they are run, okay, and also what are the calculations for each one, what are the different types of downhole, okay. Number two, we will talk about well control barriers. Actually, wells wells are two types. Number one, it's a new well, which means it is just drilled and cemented and running casing and then cemented. So it's a new well. And other one which was already working. Okay, and this is a live well. So this live well, we need to make a well control over it while doing our work over job. So we will talk about barriers, and what about the mechanical barriers, what about the hydraulic barriers, and we will talk in brief about everything, and about also the drilling fluid, yeah, about the work over and completion fluid. Yeah. Also, we will talk about sand control, how to make sand control. We will talk exactly about the types of screens, about how to run them and everything. We will talk about gravel packing. In this course, gravel packing, this is very important. Oh, we have already run before our course for fishing, but I know it is in Arabic. So we will talk exactly about fishing techniques now in English, inshallah, and we will deliver it in a smooth way. Milling types also we will talk about it. We will talk more about perforation. Now we have a well, it's already cased and cemented. So how can we produce from the layers? Actually, we have to make perf or perforation. What are the types? Is it TCP? Is it casing gun? Another types. So we have to talk about the perforation in general. Then after this, we will talk specific in tubing conveyed perforation, which is called the TCP, underbalance and overbalance, and what are the requirements for each job, and what is the usage of each one, and how to do the job smoothly. We will talk also about liner cementing job, whether on bottom and also off bottom, and what is the difference between both of them, and what are the calculations of each of one of them. We will talk also about tie back backer running job. When I make tie back to the surface, and the difference between tie back and the scab liner is that the tie back means it goes to the surface. There is a liner and the top of liner has damage, or there is a casing leak above the top of liner. So I make tie back to the surface. I make a casing yan to the surface. But the scab liner means just a new top of liner. We will talk about different types of tubing and running procedures. For example, we will talk about the premium threads like VAM top, new VAM, Tenaris, all these threads. And also, we will talk about the 8 round like EUE threads and carbon steel, 13 chrome. يعني, we will talk about different types of tubing and how to run each one, and what are the torque, what are the TRS used for it, يعني, power tongue and everything. Okay, we'll talk about it. Different well heads and how to change from one to another. We will talk about different wellheads. If wellhead, for example, for oil, for water, for gas, because each one has its unique type, يعني. And what are the companies? For example, if you are in a company and you make decompletion for the string, so you have to change to put the hanger again after completion. Yeah. But the hanger from the first time it was damaged, thread damage, or the hanger has a problem, and there is no new hanger in the stock. So that at this type you have to change the wellhead, you have to change the tubing head spool, you have to change it. So how can you change it? And what are the precautions you have to take in? You have to take, okay? What are the precautions? Because you are changing the wellhead, which means there is no BOB, there is no tubing head spool. So you have to secure the well at first, and at least with two barriers. So what are the two barriers? What is called RTTS, for example, RBB, all the running tool will talk about. We will talk also about some things called pressure sampling. If you need to take a sample from the reservoir directly to check about the oil and its about oil and exactly about the layers, so that you can يعني say it's you will produce open hole or produce through perforation. So this is very important to make sampling by the RDT tool, which is reservoir description tool. Scab liner job, cemented and non-cemented, I will talk about as I told you. Casing patch job. If you have a problem in the casing near to the wellhead, for example, some fluids are coming from under the cellar and you have to isolate the reservoir, then you have to cut this casing and put casing over it يعني, without changing the size. يعني. It is the same size. Cut 958, you have to add 958. So the casing batch job will be discussed exactly. Squeeze cementing. Squeeze cementing. We have already talked about this job in the cement course, and it will be inshallah repeated in this course exactly. Dog bull, sorry, bulldog baler for cleaning the propant. Actually, after making propant, after making hydraulic fracking job, and will start to produce again with high capacity, the propants comes out from the formation and settle down to the rat hole. So for sometimes and in sometimes the rat hole is not enough, so it covers the perforation. So we need to get this probant out to make the perforation clear and get the maximum production from the well. So this is very important job also. Oh, coiled tubing. We will talk about coiled tubing, about its components, about what are the tests, the operation, the application, everything. We will talk about the coiled tube in this course. The matrix acidizing. For example, if you have a scale in the perforation and you need to make a stimulation, so stimulation will be done by acidizing or by hydraulic fracturing. We will talk about acidizing at first. What is acid used? What are the components of the acid? And how the job is run? And what are precautions? And what are the safety? Everything we will talk. The same will be for hydraulic fracturing. What is the hydraulic fracturing? What is the data to be get from the mini frac, for example, and how to make analysis for it. Also, what are the types of hydraulic fracturing? What is the uses, propants, about the components, about the tools to be used, everything, about the string in the hole. Well intervention basics. We will talk about well intervention because will be live. It's a live will. So we will talk about well intervention basics is very important here. Very important course. Slickline tools. What are the slickline tools? And what is the magic they are doing in the well? Especially in the completion string. What is the difference between plugs, different types of plugs, prongs, and everything. Slickline can do magic without يعني, any exaggeration. يعني. Okay, it's very important. Electric line jobs like setting plugs. Electric line, يعني slick line and there is electric line. Electric line, you can do jobs by, for example, anything is related to electricity, like setting plugs, like bridge plug, or packers, like permanent packer, casing a gun to open perf, CBL to record, to make record for the cement bond log before perforation, يعني, for example, to know if the cement is good or bad. Also RCT to cut the tubing or the drill pipe, if to cut the RCT, and what is the precautions for RCT, and all this we will talk about later. Drill stem test. Drill stem test, we will talk about the string and about its components, like omni valve, like RTTS, like everything in the drill stem. We will talk about it and about the job itself. Finally, we will talk about the sand plugs and its usage. يعني it's very important to know about it. يعني also we will talk in brief, because sand plugs mainly يعني is mainly linked directly to the hydraulic fracturing. So we will talk about it. Uh, that's all at the beginning of this course. This was an introduction to this course, and I hope, inshallah, we can deliver this course in very smooth way to you, and it will be a very long course. So please keep tuned about what exactly we will give every day, and inshallah, in the end of this course, you will become professional in doing any workover job without any worries. So please focus on what we are giving daily, and take all this information seriously. يعني. Actually, this is all from my side. I hope, inshallah, we will do it together. Thank you very much for this, and inshallah, see you later in another lecture of this course. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.